He rejected her without mercy. 6 years later, she returned with a shocking secret. 6 years ago, Sophia stood outside the large iron gates of Daniel Carter's mansion, her hands shaking and her eyes filled with tears. The cold evening wind brushed against her face, but it wasn't the weather that made her shiver. It was Daniel's words echoing in her mind. "I don't want to see you again," Daniel had said coldly. "Whatever you think you feel for me, forget it. You mean nothing to me." Those words broke Sophia's heart in a way she had never imagined possible. Sophia had loved Daniel since they were teenagers. They grew up in the same small town, where everyone knew each other. Daniel was the son of the richest businessman in town, and Sophia was the daughter of a simple school teacher. Their worlds were never supposed to meet. But somehow, they did. They studied together, laughed together, and for a brief moment, Sophia believed Daniel cared about her too. Until the day everything changed. When Sophia finally confessed her feelings to him, Daniel rejected her in front of several people at a party. His words were harsh, and his pride was even harsher. "I would never be with someone like you," he had said. That night, Sophia left the town with a broken heart and a secret she told no one about. A few weeks later, she discovered something that changed her life forever. She was pregnant. At first, Sophia was terrified. She was alone, with no money and no support. For a moment, she considered going back to Daniel and telling him the truth. But then she remembered his cold eyes and cruel words. So she made a decision. She would raise the child on her own. Months passed, and Sophia gave birth to a baby boy. The moment she held him in her arms, everything felt different. "This is my reason to be strong," she whispered. She named him Lucas. Life was not easy. Sophia worked long hours at small jobs just to survive. Some nights she barely slept. Some days she barely ate. But every time Lucas smiled, she felt the strength to keep going. Years passed quickly. Lucas grew into a bright and kind child. He had Sophia's gentle heart, but his eyes looked strangely familiar. They looked exactly like Daniel's. 6 years later, Sophia had built a modest but stable life in another city. She worked as a manager in a small company and had saved enough money to live comfortably. But there was one thing she had avoided all these years: returning to the town she once left behind. One day, however, Sophia received unexpected news. Her mother had fallen ill. Without hesitation, Sophia packed her bags and returned to the town she once swore never to see again. As she walked through the familiar streets, memories flooded her mind. And then something unexpected happened. Lucas suddenly stopped walking. "Mom," he said, pointing toward a tall building. "Who is that man?" Sophia looked up. Standing across the street was Daniel. 6 years had changed him. He looked older, more serious, and far less arrogant than before. Their eyes met. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Daniel stared at Sophia in complete shock. "Sophia," he said quietly. He never expected to see her again. But what truly caught his attention was the small boy standing beside her. The child looked up at him with curious eyes. Daniel felt something strange in his chest. "Is that your son?" he asked. Sophia took a deep breath. "Yes." Daniel nodded slowly, but something about the boy made him uneasy. The resemblance was impossible to ignore. The same dark hair, the same eyes, the same expression. Daniel's voice became uncertain. "How old is he?" Sophia looked straight into his eyes. 6. Daniel's heart skipped a beat. 6 years. The exact time since the night she disappeared. A terrible realization began forming in his mind. He looked again at the boy. "Lucas," Sophia said gently to her son, "say hello." Lucas smiled politely. "Hello, sir." Daniel felt the ground shift beneath him. "Sophia," he whispered, "are you trying to tell me?" She didn't let him finish. "Yes," she said calmly. "Lucas was born 6 years ago." Daniel's face turned pale. "And he is your son." Silence filled the street. Daniel felt as if the world around him had stopped. All the memories of that night came rushing back. The night he had rejected her. The night he had broken her heart. And the night he unknowingly walked away from his own child. Guilt flooded through him like a storm. I didn't know," Daniel said, his voice shaking. Sophia looked at him with quiet strength. "I know." Daniel slowly knelt down in front of Lucas. The boy watched him curiously. Daniel's eyes filled with tears he had never shown before. For the first time in his life, the powerful and proud man realized something he could never undo. 6 years ago, he rejected the woman who loved him. And in doing so, he also rejected the son who had just been born.